Well, hello everybody. Pastor Randy here. Welcome to Making It Simple. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Hope your week is off to a great start so far. Wherever you are in this world today, hope you had a blessed weekend. I certainly did. We had a tremendous service on Sunday, and I had the blessing and the honor of memorializing, speaking at a dear friend's memorial service. Now, that doesn't sound like a great time. But if you knew her, you would understand that it was a celebration because she loved Jesus more than you could ever even possibly imagine. I would never want to say more than anybody, but because obviously I don't want to say that because I can't tell you what everybody thinks. But this lady loved Jesus. There was no question about that. And to celebrate knowing that she got to go home, while her family and friends certainly will miss her, they could find joy in the comfort of knowing that she was in the arms of Jesus, knowing that she was never sick again, was a blessing. So a tremendous weekend. So anyhow, hope all of you are doing great today. We're going to start a brand new teaching series today as we just wrapped up some great lessons that we've been going through lately. But today we're going to go in a slightly different direction. I want to talk about a subject that can seem controversial at times because words are not often defined in the way that they were meant to be. In other words, sometimes we hear a word that is used commonly, used all the time, but we really don't understand exactly what it means. Therefore, it either gets painted into a corner, or it becomes so misunderstood that when used, it's either offensive or it is, again, misunderstood in such a way that it gets changed, it gets watered down. I want to talk about the word sin. Now, again, that word elicits all different types of thoughts, ideas, feelings, whatever the case. But what I want us to understand in these next few lessons, and I don't know how long this would be, it won't be very long. But I want us to look at this through the eyes of Scripture, not just opinion. I want us to look at this through the understanding of the originality of where this is even based out of. Now, I don't do a lot of word studies in the sense of, Greek and Hebrew and Arabic and whatever the case. But in this particular case, it's important that we understand a little bit of that for the simple notion of understanding that this word, sin, we find it all throughout Scripture. So it's not a made up thing in a degree. But what has happened is over the course of time, because of sometimes not correct teaching, and again, I don't ever proclaim to know it all by any stretch, but what we've done is we've created the concept that this word is simply associated with naughty behavior. That's a sin. We probably all heard that word. However, Scripture says that all have sinned. So do we immediately equate that to, well, I've been bad? I've done something I shouldn't have done? Or how deep, how broad, how wide is this? And that's what I want us to explore over the next few days as we look at the concept of what is this? What does it even mean? Why is it important? And have we stopped to realize that it's so important that Jesus would give his life to pay for its debt? We don't think about it that way. But Scripture says that the wages of sin is death. In other words, what we earn from that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But today I just want us to kind of get a basic overview of what we're going to be talking about. The word, it is found all throughout the Bible, from the very beginning to the very end. It has an implication in all aspects of life. It has an implication of the harm, the damage, all the different things that it causes. It has become a part of church culture. It has become a part of church language, teaching and preaching and on so and so. But the one thing that very few ever address is, what is it? What does it mean? What does Scripture say? What is there? How is this applicable to everyday life and the mindset that we operate by? Are we talking about changing our strategy of living to trying to embrace perfection? Are we talking about changing our entire thought process to where we become almost programmed and robotic and such straight edge, straight line law keepers, snap it? No. No. What we're talking about is changing the condition of our heart. What we're talking about is embracing that which God has already given. The sin's debt has been paid. Understanding the sacrifice of Christ. Understanding how that changes our life if we will accept that and not remain in this process of continuing to be outside of the will of God. Now, Scripture is very clear. God remembers and knows that we are mere dust. Therefore, the opportunity, the probability that we're going to kind of blow it sometimes, it's always there. But as we grow closer to Christ, as we begin to understand a stronger, deeper relationship, we have less and less desire for those things. And again, we've kind of again, not to be repetitive, but we kind of painted this thing into a corner to where it is always about a particular action or thought or word. And so we immediately deem anything that we don't agree with as sinful. This has crept into the church culture over time, where, again, we have removed the literal meaning of the word, and we have replaced that with our opinion of what that word is. Simply meaning, to some, if another person were to come to church dressed in a certain manner, that's sinful. If a person eats a certain thing, oh, that's sinful. If a person watches a particular television show that they enjoy, that's sinful. And so we've removed the literal meaning, which we'll talk about, and we've changed that, exchanged that, I should say, with opinion. And the danger of that is that begins to move the needle to what we call legalism. Okay? And the problem with that doesn't draw anybody to Christ. Because what we do with that is we begin to paint a picture of, if you're not walking the mark and towing the line, you're out. God doesn't want you. God can't have anything to do with you, and on so and on so and on so. And people begin to fade away. People begin to say, well, wait a minute. I mean, you're asking me to be perfect. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm fallible. I'm going to mess up. That's not intentional. That's not a directive in that today I got up at 7:30 and my day is going to start out and I have to do something wrong today. That's silly. We don't. But it's so much more than wrong and right. It's a mindset. It's a heart condition. It's a situation where we have to look at the broad spectrum versus the narrow. Because narrow in the sense that we determine the right and wrong. We determine what others do or don't do. That's not what God's talking about. And so as we look a little deeper into this through Scripture, not the opinion of this teacher, but through Scripture, we understand what does this mean? And why does it have an impact on every single life on this earth, including the creation around us? And we'll talk about that tomorrow when we pick back up. What is sin? Right here tomorrow at Making It Simple. God bless you. I'll see you then.